So yesterday I told you I was going to be making a very special apple surprise, and this is an applesauce cake. It's from my Betty Crocker Cookbook, and this is from some homemade cinnamon applesauce that I made from my Fuji apples. So here we go. All right, we're going to start off by mixing a ½ cup of shortening along with 2 eggs and our sugar. So there's our shortening. 2 eggs. There's 1 and 2. Now this recipe calls for a lot of sugar. I know, it calls for 2 whole cups, but it's a big cake and it's really good, and it's only every once in a while, and I'm taking this to an event, so I know everybody's going to enjoy it. So all we're going to do is mix up our cake. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is add our salt. And we're going to add 1½ teaspoons of salt. There's 1 1/2. We're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm going to add a full teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves, a 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, and 2½ cups of flour. Then we're going to be adding 1½ cups of applesauce. Came out so good. I canned this with my Fuji apples, and I can't even begin to tell you how flavorful these Fuji apples were this year. They're just absolutely delicious. All right, so there's 1. And then we're gonna get 1/2. You know, I literally have 1 bite left. So I'm gonna put the whole pint of applesauce in there. I realized I forgot my baking soda. Oh my goodness. So we're also going to put 1½ teaspoons of baking soda in addition to the baking powder. So here's 1 1/2. All right. Now another thing that I do, it's not in the recipe and you certainly don't have to do it, but I add a little bit of this. It's called cultured buttermilk. It's kind of a powdered mixture. I find it over in the baking aisle, and I just find that I put in like a tablespoon, and my cakes and things just have a really good flavor from that. If you're enjoying this content today, can you please consider subscribing to my channel or giving me a thumbs up or a like? It really helps me grow my channel. And before we finish our mixing process, we're just going to scrape down the sides of the bowl. Just make sure that we get all these different little things off of our bowl. And then last but not least, we're going to put in 1/2 cup of raisins. Now, if you're not a raisin fan, you go ahead and leave these out. Now I freeze my raisins, so I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of give them a little rub here because some of them are sticking together. You can see 1/2 cup just isn't too much. We're just going to give this a stir. Now the other thing, if you're not a raisin fan and you would like to substitute some chocolate chips, I mean, maybe some dark chocolate pieces. I mean, you could really do anything you wanted, even some little tiny apple pieces. Now I did that once and it made my cake a little bit, I don't know, it just didn't cook up as well, but with the raisins it'll come out perfect. All right. We're gonna put this in a 350-degree oven and we're gonna cook it for about an hour, but in about 45-50 minutes, we're gonna check on it just to make sure that it's, you know, coming along nicely. Well, here is my apple cake. It looks and smells delicious. I just can't wait to take it to the event this weekend. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I hope that this looks like something you might be interested in making. I'm going to post the description and the recipe down below so that you can see the exact measurements of everything. Please like and subscribe if this is content that you're enjoying. I'd appreciate any thumbs up or any feedback that you can give me of other things that you might like to see in future videos. So thanks again for watching and have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.